Hey, what's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review of Love and Listing Season 1, Episode 7. This review is very late, and I apologize for that, but let's go ahead and jump into it. So we start this episode off with, we see Taylor talking to her dad and sort of reviewing the things that have gone down between her and the other ladies, and she says that she really feels like part of the reason why she can't have a good relationship with women is because of sort of the things that she went through with her mom. We found out early on this season that her mom has drug problems and that she was close to her mom, but that she feels like her mother chose drugs over her. And at the end of the day, when someone is an addict, it's not that they're making a conscious decision to choose drugs over their children or family. They are an addict, and they, in that moment, cannot physically stop. Without help. So, but I understand the feeling. I understand feeling like somebody has chosen that substance that is killing them over love. I get it. And her father encourages her to reach out to her mom and sort of just try to figure it out. So later on in that episode, I'm going to get this out the way. We see Sarah meet up with her mom and really talk to her mom about that. And I mean, they have a moment. I mean, she has the ugly cry and everything. I mean, it's a good old ugly cry. I feel like Sarah needed to say the things that she said to her mom. I feel like it needed to come out. Her mom let her talk. Her mother didn't try to defend herself. Her mother didn't try to be combative. Her mother let her say what needed to be said. And I hope that, I can only hope that her mother is clean now and that they can work on their relationship, because Taylor was saying that's pretty much all she wanted, right? So we have Zach and Kat. Kat's in town, honey, and they having themselves a cute little picnic, and everything is cute at first, and he's explaining to her how the friend group is sort of crumbling, how everybody sort of has issues with everybody else, and he compares it to training camp. He said, when I was in the NFL, at a certain point during training camp, it was inevitable that there was going to be a fight, because you got these high emotions. You're in a powder keg of a situation. People are fighting for jobs. People are with each other day in and day out. You're not around your family, your girl, whatever. And so he talked about how he wanted to try that they, did certain things to try to resolve issues before it started. So he wants to sort of have a little powwow with the group. And Kat tells him she thinks it's a good idea. Then they get to talking about the situation with Samantha. And he told her about what Samantha did at the showing. And I'm like, why do people... Kat didn't need that whole story. She didn't need to know that Samantha brought your penis up. Come on. And of course, Kat responded the way a girlfriend would respond. And I understand what Zach is saying. Zach was like, I can't control what comes out of her mouth. But Kat's thing was, I get it that you can't control what's coming out of her mouth, but this is going to continue to be an issue. And either it's going to be an issue that we're going to deal with, or it's going to be an issue that I'm not dealing with. And basically, she letting him know, you figure it out and you get her ass in check, or it's going to really cause some problems with our friendship. With our relationship. And I ain't mad at her. I don't blame her. Then we see Andrew and why I can't never remember the other guy's name. And I actually like him. He's probably my favorite out of the bosses. He's actually my favorite, and I don't know why I can't never remember his name. But anyway, we see them meeting at the ring store. Andrew said that the one thing that he was, that he's been kind of slacking on getting the situation done with the wedding, and so the fiance put him in charge of the rings. So they're at the, jewelry store. They're looking at rings and stuff. And then they get to talking about sort of, again, what's going on with the little friend group, so to speak. And Andrew is talking to him and saying, look, what Taylor did at that open house is just unacceptable. I really like Taylor. I really want to see, how things are going with Taylor. But that just can't happen again. And I'm going to really have to make a hard decision on if I want to continue to work with her. And then the other guy, whose name I don't remember right now, he asked him about Ajane. He said, look, these rumors are going on about you and Ajane, and let me be honest with you. I don't really care who's sleeping with who unless it affects my money. And I just need to know what's going on. If there's a situation with you and Ajane, that's going to become an issue. Andrew was like, no, nothing went down between me and Ajane, nothing. Jacob is still processing and dealing with his situation. He can't pass this test. He's feeling some kind of way. He's feeling like he's letting everybody down. He opens up to his barber. His barber kind of, gives him some good advice about just keeping it going. Like, basically, if you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. Shouts out to Aaliyah, Timberland, or Missy, whoever, shouts out. But at the end of the day, it just kind of needs to be handled, I get it that you feeling some kind of way, but you just gotta buckle down to pass the test. And then he was talking about how his feelings for Sarah, how things sort of went left with Sarah and all that, but look, Sarah a trick. Ajane didn't get the ultimately, after all that she went through, y'all know who I'm thinking about. Well, I can't think of this woman's name. I can see her face. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Mother, slut walk, Kanye West's ex-girlfriend, Wiz Khalifa baby mama. Y'all know who. Amber Rose. See how word association? Amber Rose did not buy the house. But, Ajane is working. Like, Ajane is like, look, I've got to prove myself. And she is burning the candle at both ends, and she's stressing herself out. And her boss, Eric, I think it's Eric. Eric comes to talk to her, and he tells her, he's like, look, I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate how hard you're working. I see what you're doing. But you are tired. You're short-tempered. You're not your normal self. You're not your normal bubbly self. And I see what you're doing, and I appreciate the hard work that you're putting in, but I need you to get some rest. And he said, it's going to come. We still have we didn't lose Amber Rose as a client. She just didn't buy that house. We're going to find something for her. It's going to work itself out. But I need you to get some rest. I need you. And I appreciate that he talked to her because, it is a high power and a high pressure situation. But at the end of the day, I appreciate the fact that he's telling her, look, your well-being is more important than this money. And that tells me that he really does care about her. So Zach calls everybody together. They down there on this beach, and it's clearly cold because everybody's all bundled up and it's all windy and stuff. But he's doing the exercise where you pass the ball. And as the ball goes around the circle, everybody talks about their issue that they have with everybody else. And everybody is able to share how they feel. And so, first he had them playing tug of war. And it was a moment, you got to communicate and all that good stuff. So then they had them, then he did the circle with the football. And Sarah is sitting on the beach in a fur. I ain't mad at you, Sarah. I ain't mad at you at all. But Sarah starts it off, and Sarah apologizes to Taylor, And Taylor, she accepts the apology, and she explains how she has a really hard time making friends with women because of issues that she has, and that she really that she doesn't. And she basically said that she doesn't see her and Sarah really being friends, but she wants to be cordial and wants to be respectful. And maybe they can build back up to where they were, but it just can't automatically go back to where it was. Okay, But it was a good moment. And then Samantha has the ball, and Samantha apologizes to Zach, and she sort of acknowledges that that she was out of line, and that she was trying to sort of poke at Zach and sort of goad Zach, and that she did apologize. And so that was a moment. Ajane just spoke on the fact that people sort of prejudged her, and because we know how her and Taylor butted heads at the beginning, but now they're friends. I'll be honest with y'all, I thought this was the season finale, the way this scene sort of made its way around, but it's not. Next week is the season finale, and it looks like it's gonna be a doozy, but that's another conversation. So Jacob speaks, and Jacob once again speaks on just happy to be around. Like, look, I don't have a license, but you guys are accepting me, and I really appreciate that. So that daggone Andrew gets the ball. And Andrew once again starts talking about how much he loves his fiance and how much Sarah hurt him by what she did and the rumors that she spread. And poor Ajane is sitting there looking stupid as hell, knowing that Sarah and Samantha both know that she didn't slept with this man, or at least she's accusing. That's her side of the story. And Sarah wants to say something so bad. She was like, oh, I want to just bust him so bad, but I can't say nothing. And Andrew is just going on and on and on about how much he loves his girlfriend, his fiance, and how this whole situation could have turned out so horrible, and he's just glad that they're moving on. And I was just like, oh my gosh, Andrew, you are making yourself look so guilty, because why are you once again dwelling on that? But anyway, they all hug it out at the end, and everybody's, la la la, wah wah wah, woo woo woo, whoop de whoop. Andrew has a $50 million listing, honey. And when I tell you that $50 million house ain't nothing to be played with, it has a damn ballroom, okay? I mean, I don't know what you can do with $50 million of a house, but it was beautiful. It was a gorgeous home. And so they were doing the pictures. They had the photographer there. And so he had Taylor come and talk to Taylor. He basically told her, look, I have fired people for less. And what happened the other night, it just cannot happen. And I'm not sure if we need to move forward in this relationship, because that's unacceptable. And Taylor, I still feel like Taylor wasn't taking full responsibility for her part in it. However, he did agree that he would give her another chance, but he made it very clear that she's, on thin ice. And again, like I said, I'm not sure that Taylor took full responsibility for her part, but okay. Then we get to, the fellas are sort of hanging out, right? No, wait a minute. Oh, well, nothing. Taylor and Jacob hang out, and I mean, they're having lunch, and they're just talking about how much they care about each other. And Jacob keeps thinking about the fact that his aunt seems to think that Taylor has a crush on him, and he's trying to deal with those issues and those feelings of, do I kind of want to go down that road, or do I want to keep things the way they are? We've been friends forever. We've been friends since high school, even before the show and everything. And do I really want to risk the friendship? That's, I think a lot of people come to that impasse when you have a friend that's the opposite sex. At a certain point, I think the crushes come along, and you have to make a decision about whether it's a crush or it could just be a long-term situation. Like, is this my soulmate, or is this somebody that I could be with romantically? And I think Jacob is just kind of dealing with that right now and struggling. And so they have a moment, and then Taylor brings up the Sarah situation, and why would you mess with Sarah? Like, And so they have a good friend conversation. So the fellas meet up over Zach's house. Zach has them over for, what fellas do. They sit around, they having drinks, throwing some stuff on the grill, honey. And they having a good moment. Well, come to find out, Sarah has talked to old, what was his name? Ian? No, that ain't right. Ivan? Anyway, Sarah was talking to the other dude. I'm gonna get his name, y'all. I gotta get his name. I'm gonna get his name. Ty. I don't know where Ian or Ian came. Whatever. Ty. Y'all remember Ty? Sarah done told Ty about the whole breakdown with Ajane sleeping with Andrew, right? And Ty tells the fellas. Now, Andrew's not there yet. He tells the fellas what Sarah said, and the fellas are like, no. And Eric even says, I asked Andrew, and Andrew told me it didn't happen. And Ty's like, well, that's what Sarah said. He was like, hold on. And they did a real female move, right? He gonna call Sarah on speakerphone and tell everybody to be quiet. And he asked Sarah about it, and Sarah was like, yeah, when we had girls' night, Ajane said da 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 da. And the fellas were like, oh, snap. So when Andrew got there, they confronted him about it. They were like, Andrew, Sarah is saying that Ajane is saying that y'all slept together. What went down? Did this happen? Andrew looks them all dead in their face, and he's like, no, it did not happen. I did not sleep with Ajane. It did not happen. Baby. So that is pretty much where this episode ends, honey. Next week is the season finale, and it looks like some stuff comes out one way or the other. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.